Hi everyone, this is going to be expense objects training. My name's Callahan McAllister. As a reference, it's December 2024 and FY25 year. First, to help understand our expense objects training, I'm going to go over the GL account number. Example on the screen is 11 10 904 601 55720. You notice they are highlighted and corresponding to what they are. The first two numbers are going to be your fund. The second two numbers are going to be your function. The next six numbers are going to be your cost center. And the last five are going to be your object, where we'll focus on object training today. If it begins with a 5, it will be expense object. To help break it down, first one's 11. This tells us the destination of the account. The first number overall destination, second number is a category. So this 11 corresponds to current unrestricted, general, educational, local. You notice there's other funds as examples on the screen. Next one, set of 2 is going to be for your function. This is what's the purpose of the account. This one is a 10, so this is institutional support. Your next 6 is going to be your cost center. The first 3 will tell me who, or tell everyone who the oversees the account. 904 is controller's office. Along with this string, your fourth digit of the cost center tells us what kind of account it is. This one being a 6 is a local account. And the last two numbers are just the to assign to the cost center. So 9046, 01, 02, 03. And the last 5 are going to be your object and tells us what kind of fund grouping that falls into. And that's where we'll focus our training today on. 1 would be an asset if it would begin with it. 2 would be a liability. 3, fund balance. 4, revenue. And 5, which is our training, is expense objects. On top, it's a 55720. So this tells me it's expense. And the 5720 tells me it's supplies under the expense. So jumping right into the category under expense objects, we have a couple main categories: services, travel, supplies, miscellaneous, and informational technology all falls under operational expenses. And we also have capital outlay, which will be anything that's $2,000 or more with the 3-year or more lifespan. We'll go into more detail later on that one. But I do want to focus on that we do have a link here to the controller's office website accounts payable. And if we do click on this link, this takes us straight to the web page already, but if you went to the controller's office website on the LC's page and scroll down, accounts payable is the first link. You scroll down on this one, all the way on the bottom, expense objects, and use the link to open up what we're going to go over today. And this will have all the expense objects that you can print off or save a digital copy for. Jumping right into the expense objects, first section of this is going to be services. Your 55030 is for your telephone and equipment. This is going to be for all long charges, long distance, cell phone usage, and all telephone equipment. Next service expense is going to be 55150, which is services. This is for all services not specified elsewhere, such as registration, membership, express mail, laundry, governmental sponsorship, or janitorial services, including all trainings and online trainings, not used for IT services, which we do have new codes open for. Our next one on this one is going to be 55180. This is for promotions and publicity. This is the cost of promotion or publicity LCSC advertising, so such as billboards or screen time on TV. This is not for LC swag. If you're going to buy cups, mugs, shirts to hand out, that will go under supplies, 55720. If you notice the next one's in red, this is one of the new ones we opened up for FY25. It's 55181, donations or sponsorship and non-governmental. Once again, I provided a link for this. This is on the controller's office website under frequent asked questions. So if you click on the link, that would take you directly to the page that you need. But if you just went to LCSC, went to the controller's office website, scroll down, frequent asked questions, the last one on the right-hand side here. About halfway down is what types of sponsorships or donations need to be approved by LC State President. This will be a LC State President approval that goes through Jagger. This object 55181 should not be used on a P card, and once again must go through Jagger for reporting purposes, so that way we can know what we're spending under this object code. This took effect as of July 1, 2024. There's new legislation that requires LC president to approve non-governmental sponsorship and donations. Do you have a link in this document to the House Bill 603 below? And prepare a report on an annual basis. The purpose is to capture direct donations and sponsorships made with appropriate tax dollars per DFM guidance July 2024. Down here is going to be a little bit more information. Any donations or sponsorship to any non-governmental event or organization must be reported and use the object code, with the exception of donations or sponsorships required by law for non-governmental organization, and these are not applicable for reporting purposes. Sponsorships defined as donation of money in exchange for something of a return, such as advertising or materials. Donation is defined as a donation of money without any exchange or mutual benefits. A couple things to go over down here is they put together little questionnaires of yes and no when to report. We are reviewing all sponsorships and donations for approval across all funds, and we'll be reporting only those involving appropriate tax dollars to DFM in accordance with the guidelines. Yes on that one. A big one for this one is we do not need to report our internal affiliations, such as not asking to report donations to LC clubs or organizations. LC Foundation, Student Government, Alumni Associated Warrior Athletics, LC Golf Tournaments, etc. We don't not need to report those. There are no requirements on reporting sponsorships or donations made to any government entity, including city, county, state, tribal, or federal government. Next one, if they're separate nonprofit related to the government, we need to report. An example of this is the City Lewiston Library Board, since they have their own nonprofit. If that nonprofit is separate from the government entity, though related, we must report. Purchase. The next one is going to be the purchase of tickets or tables for entry into an event is excluded unless we are listed as a sponsor or host of the event or activity related to the purchase. If the purchase is solely for attendance, such as for a dinner or lunch at an event, and no advertising or publicity is provided to LC, it is not reported as a sponsorship. And once again, the link is here on the controller's office website under frequent asked questions. If you scroll down about halfway, you got what type of sponsorships or donations need to be approved by LC state president. Our next service expense object is going to be 55199. This is independent contractor services. This is going to be people who are independent trade, business, or professionals in which they are offering service to general public and not incorporated. This is only used for independent contractor payments, ICPs through Jagger. Next service expense object is going to be 55275. This is going to be for printing, services for printing, binding, or photocopying. Next set of operation expense is going to be travel. 55353 is going to be partial day reimbursement. This one's going to be a taxable partial day reimbursement an employee receives when they travel, but do not spend the night away from their home. So if there's no hotel stay overnight, it will go under partial day travel 55353. Everything else for employee travel will go under 55396. This is for all travel expenses associated for employee travel to only be used on travel forms. Our next section is going to be supplies. 55650 is repairs and maintenance. This is for charges associated with repairs and maintenance on buildings, equipment, and vehicles. 55670, this one's going to be for food. So any food related and spending funds on to buy food will go under this category. 55720, this one's going to be for supplies, office supplies, apparel, athletic supplies, medical supplies, and other supplies not specified elsewhere. Marketing items such as pens and cups are also included in here. Like mentioned before, you would not use 55180 if you're going to buy LC swag. You would use the 55720 for supplies. The next section is going to be miscellaneous. 55940 is for rentals. This is going to be all rental charges, equipments, and vehicles and booth rentals. 55995 is interdepartmental expenses. This is going to be services or supplies such as purchased between two internal departments to be used on all IDs, which is IDG, IDM, IDV, or IDP. Next miscellaneous expense is going to be 55999, and that will be the miscellaneous expense object. This is for any miscellaneous expenses not listed elsewhere, such as refunds, non-employee expenses, flowers, or field trips. Next section we're going to jump into is going to be capital outlay. This was mentioned earlier. This is non-consumable supplies, equipment, furniture, or vehicles, which will have a useful life of 3 years or more with a cost of $2,000 or more. This is important because this will be required to have a fixed asset tag. Now, the main object and capital outlay is 56520. And like I said above, it's vehicles, furniture, property improvements, all capital purchases other than computer, software, and equipment. Those we have new informational technology codes for, which I will explain next. So IT or information technology, we have a bunch of new objects that we opened up for FY25. First one's going to be 55241, which is IT services. This is for IT services having to do with computers and networks, system setup, installation, maintenance, cost of hardware, labor, maintenance for desk computers, laptops, tablets, etc., performed by services providers, contractors, and other agencies. Our next one on this one is going to be a group one, which is software subscriptions. We have 55210, which is below 5,000 software subscriptions, and 55285, which is above $5,000 for software subscription. Software subscriptions, annual ongoing multi-year IT software, including clouds or SaaS subscription that totals either below or above the 5,000 for the two. An example for this is if you have a 5-year contract with $1,000 per year. That 5-year contract at 1,000 will equal that $5,000 mark, which would cover 55285. But if your annual contract ongoing subscription is 4,000, then you use 55210. Because you only pay $1,000 per year, but it's a 5-year contract, that's why it covers under the 55285, because the whole contract itself is 5,000 or above. Our next set of software is going to be one-time software purchases. This is going to be 55570 for below 5,000 and 56420 for above 5,000. This is one-time software per unit license, one-time purchase. LC owns this license. No repeated fees for use of this software. However, if there are required ongoing fees for support and maintenance, please use 55241, which is IT services. LC owns this software and use of this software regardless if there is an option for maintenance and support. Does not require internet connection to use. This one's pretty straightforward. One-time purchase. Below 5,000 is 55570. Above 5,000 is 56420. Our next set of 3 is going to be for computer equipment. Below 2,000 is going to be 55580. 2,000 to 4,999 is going to be 56410. And a 5,000 and above will be your 56499. Computer equipment with their per unit item value for laptops, tablets, monitors, printers, scanners, computer cables, adapters, keyboards, mouses, storage media, microphones, televisions, etc. will fall into this category. If you buy a laptop that's at $1,950 and it comes with a warranty on it built in for that laptop for $200, that would push it above that $2,000 mark. So that would go in 56410. Anything in the computer equipment that's 2,000 or above for the individual item will have to get a fixed asset tag. Some of the resources provided today that I used throughout this slide was the expense objects that is located at the controller's office under accounts payable, and it's on the very bottom under expense objects. The other big one that we opened up for FY25 is that 55181, donations or sponsorships for non-governmental. It's located on the controller's office under frequent asked questions. The one thing I wanted to point out and I forgot to mention, it's about halfway down, like I said, under the controller's office, frequent asked questions. For this document, on the very bottom, if you do have any questions for this 55181 object, please contact admin services at 2240. Thank you for watching this training. My name is Callahan McAllister. I am the financial manager at LCSC. My email is cmmcallister@lcsc.edu, and my phone number on campus is extensions 2206. Off campus will be 208-792-2206.